Hey there everybody, his soldier here, and today I'm going over the Emu War today, which I find very interesting because I discovered this war about last week, and I wanted to go over it because I didn't know much about it. But when I first found out about it, I thought, just from the name, I thought it was going to be like a native war, like, it's like a country against a native population. But then I found out it's against an animal race. And the reason that's so interesting is because I don't see a lot of wars that involve, countries against animals. So I decided to do a video about this, just to give you guys an idea what the Emu War was. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Well, the so-called Emu War took place in Western Australia in 1932, from November 2nd to December 10th. And the main people involved were the Australian military and the emus. The emu is like a big type bird, like an ostrich, but I don't know. I don't know much about the emu bird. I actually didn't know an emu existed. I didn't even know what an emu was until I researched this topic. Basically, it's like a bird that's like an ostrich, and it can run really fast too, just like an ostrich can. The reason this war started was because the emu's population was growing at a massive rate. They reached around 25,000 to 55,000 population, like this birds and emus and all together. And this was really troubling to the farmers in the Western Australian region because these things were eating, destroying, trampling crops, and this was the Great Depression era, so these farmers were struggling. So they called on their government for help, which came. So Sir George Pearce ordered that the Australian military take care of the problem. So they put Major G.P.W. Meredith in charge with some men with a couple Louis guns or Lewis guns with 10,000 rounds of ammo to take care of the problem. Okay, this is basically what went down. This is what went down basically during the war. Um, the first day, they traveled to Campion, like as it says on here. They went to where 50 emus were sighted, but the problem was they were out of range. So the settlers, in a way to try to help the military, try to like round up the emus so they can ambush them, which would make them easier to kill. But the emus, when they're in a pack, they all split up in separate directions. And this made it really hard for the machine gunners to kill them, especially when they're out of range. So they didn't even manage to kill a lot. They only managed to kill like 3 to 4. I'm not really certain with how many they killed on the first day. A couple days later, Meredith, the major, he decided to set up another ambush, but this time it was under military idea, where there was not 50 but 1,000 emus. And this time they were the gunners were in range. But when the guns opened fire, the birds automatically split like they did 2 days earlier, and they only managed to kill 8 to 12 birds. The reason it's an estimation is because there's no like certain record. Because every time I looked at it, they just said it was an estimation. They're not certain. It was 4 days after that the Australian House of Representatives decided to talk about the issue, and because it had so much negative coverage from the local media in Australia, and with not many emus being killed, showing that it's not working, Pierce decided to withdraw the military and the guns. But that wasn't the end of the Emu War. Actually, 4 days later after that, the emus kept on destroying and terrorizing the farmers' crops, making it worse. So, military operations resumed, and Meredith was put back in charge. So, in the days following after November 12th, around November 13th or 14th, Meredith and his men actually had a good day because they managed to kill like 30 to 40 emus, which was way more than they were able to kill in 2 days before the military operations ended a week earlier. But it was the day after that they started to have complications like they did last week with the emus because they run really fast, they're hard to kill. It actually takes like 10 bullets to kill one bird, especially with the machine gun. And they were just really fast, like 40 miles per hour. It was December 2nd that the hostilities ended, with Australian defeat because they only managed to kill around 3,000 to 4,000 emus, and there were still like 25,000 to 55,000 in the area. And it was 8 days later, Major Meredith was recalled, and he claimed that he killed 970 to 986 emus, with around 9,000 bullets of the ammo, which was 10,000 rounds the government gave him. To combat the problem, the Australian government in 1934, 2 years after the Emu War, they put a bounty on the emus' heads, and in over 6 months, over 55,000 emus were killed, which was a staggering amount because unlike the military, these guys were the hunters were a lot more stealthier. They had rifles, so they had like one shot and they knew where to shoot, so they had an advantage. But it's just crazy how many they killed in that much period. Okay, my thoughts about this war. Well, this was very interesting to research because, like I said earlier, I never heard of a war where, a country fought against an animal. It's very interesting. But I can understand why the Australians lost because think about it. They were outnumbered. It's like 25,000 to 55,000 birds in the area. So yeah, they didn't have a chance, especially with machine gun fire. It takes 10 bullets to kill one bird. But they ended up winning in the end when they put the bounties on their heads. So 1 point Australia. But what are your thoughts about the war? You have any thoughts or any questions about it? Feel free to ask. And if you have any other wars that you feel like I should go over, feel free to let me know in the comments. Don't be shy. And that's all I have in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, feel free to like. If you didn't, you don't have to. And if you have any advice for me or any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video. This Soldier out.